podcast.
Bring your friends.
And we're live. All right.
One, two, three.
The second episode of the Patreon.
Yes.
You might recognize this guest. He is very well known all over the entirety of the United States. He's an amazing author, a great singer, and I gotta say, he's been lovely to us. Like,
yes.
He's graced us with his presence one more time. The very amazing Mr. Geoffrey Mark. How are you?
There you go.
I could hear it even if you could. Yes, my fans all screaming. Either that or it's the echo from the Queen's funeral. I'm not sure which one it is.
Either one.
Well, Geoffrey, like we were talking before we went on, like, thank you so much for being here. And I've been a very busy bee.
Yes.
Yeah.
Very, very, very busy bee. How you been in the past year? How's life been treating you since we last saw you?
I think like everybody else in the world, dealing with COVID. Now there's the monkeypox you have to worry about out here in the California desert where I live. Show business is hard work, and there are periods of time in every celebrity's life where you don't hear from them very much. Usually that means they're working a lot.
Yeah.
And then like next year you'll hear, oh, they got all this stuff happening. So this has been a working year. Not that I haven't done a lot of interviews and a lot of radio. And I did do a concert here in Palm Springs in May that went so well. I had not planned to sing that much, but I ended up doing 2 hours. I sang over 20 songs. They wouldn't let me off the stage. It was lovely. It's not bragging. It's heartfelt. I'm so grateful that people felt that way about what I was doing. And,
well, yeah, with the times, man. Like it's been hard to get people to come out and hard to get people to spend money.
Definitely.
We had about 3/4 of a full house, which is these days pretty good. And they were paying a pretty penny to see me. So I'm very grateful. Grateful to the venue Oscars out here in Palm Springs.
Shout out to them.
Other than that, I have been writing and doing my radio show and planning for next year.
What's the name of your radio show again, Geoffrey, so we can shout it out?
It is called Geoffrey Mark Plays Ella. It's on radio stations once a week all over the country, and it's available as a podcast on every platform you could possibly think of. And each week I play Ella Fitzgerald's music on a theme. And then I tell you the backstage stories about how the music was made or why it was important to Ella's career. Because for those of our friends out there who don't know, I've written 2 books about Ella, and was Grammy nominated books and Grammy nominated for writing about her. So I have a strong connection to Ella. I actually worked for her towards the end of her life. One of the amazing things about Ella Fitzgerald, if you don't know this, if someone like Frank Sinatra or Barbra Streisand or Tony Bennett goes on tour, they have 12, 14, 16 songs. It's the same set of songs in every city. Ella had at any given moment about 300 arrangements available to her, and she would just pick what she felt like singing that night. So if you went to a 7:30 show and a 10:30 show the same night, the songs were different. Until she got older, towards the end of her career, after heart bypasses and diabetes and things, she started singing the same songs over and over again. So I went in and did song lists for her of songs that she could still sing. She could still do the arrangements, even with limited vocal powers. And she used them, and it was fun to go see her perform and be able to nudge someone and say, oh, she's going to sing Too Darn Hot next. How do you know that? Well, I chose the songs. That was a lot of fun for me.
I bet that'd be a fun bar game. Jeffrey's just out there be like, I bet you $20. I know what song she's going to sing next.
Or if I got her to sing something for someone. Friends of mine loved a song called Make Me Rainbows. And I said, oh, she's going to sing Make Me Rainbows next for you. And they said, go on. And now I'd like to sing Make Me Rainbows for a fan out there who asked for the song and the blood drained out of their face. That was lovely.
That's awesome, Geoffrey. Geoffrey, I wanted to ask you, there's some stuff that I wanted to ask you from last time. You're also, and most people don't know this, that listen to our episode, and we've had a lot of emails, people asking us about this. Like, you're also a pretty well-known comic.
Yes.
And not only are you a pretty well-known comic, you're also a pretty well-known writer for various comedians. Could you talk about that? Because I don't know much about that side of you. And, you know,
Sure.
me, myself, I've always wanted to write for people. And I know that that's something that takes a lot of, it's very intimate when you write for other people. Can you tell us a little bit about that, please?
I'd be happy to. Being a comedian and writing comedy for other people, two completely different sets of muscles. Because when you're doing stand-up, and my stand-up is very, I don't know how to put this, because I've never seen me stand up. I've never been in the audience watching me. I never, ever watch. I never watch. I don't watch interviews. I don't listen back to records. I don't look at myself. I get too self-conscious. But I don't have an act. I have some jokes I will tell, but a lot of it is me riffing with the audience and my humor is reaction humor. So if the audience has had the right amount of liquor or marijuana in their system, and then the full moon is gazing right, we have a wonderful time because I play with the audience. But when you write for somebody else, you have to be able to write full set, you know, subject predicate sentences. You have to have a wonderful vocabulary, and you have to study their comedy style. You can't write, you know, Geoffrey Mark jokes for Jack Riley. You have to write Jack Riley jokes for Jack Riley or Norm Crosby or whoever I've written for through the years. It isn't a big part of my career. It's usually for people who, sometimes a comedian who's very successful will write themselves out, meaning they've now covered all the topics. They've told most of their jokes. Now they need new ideas, new topics, or new jokes for the old topics. And that's where I come in to sort of go, all right, because
okay, I can see that.
A good comedian, a really good comedian, the ones that become famous, should not be doing other people's material. And you should be unique enough that nobody can use your material. The only big comedians that I know who used the same joke and got away with it was way back in the early 80s when Brooke Shields was a big deal. She did an underage actor being sexy in a film. And interviewers would ask them, you know, gosh, you've been around so many years. Yeah, I'm just staying around long enough to find out who gets Brooke Shields. Red Skelton told that joke. George Burns told that joke. Bob Hope took that, you know, that kind of a thing. It's, did I tell you the first joke I ever wrote last time?
I don't believe you did.
I don't think so.
I don't believe you
So
did.
I am, meaning for me, I am 17 years old and I look 17 years old. I'm doing stand-up in New York City in nightclubs and singing also. And the only thing you have to know to get the punchlines of the joke is that back then, incessantly on television, there were commercials by a company named Playtex for Playtex living bras, Playtex living girdles, and Playtex living rubber gloves. You have to know that, or a joke does not make sense.
Yeah.
Okay.
So I would tell the audience the truth, you know, hey, you know, I'm sort of, you know, I'm on my own now. I don't live at home anymore. I don't really have a father in my life. And my mother is concerned for me now that I'm a man about town, but she's awkward about these things. She keeps telling me I have to have protection. Protection. Well, I finally figured out what she meant. And I took her Playtex living gloves and cut off all the fingers. It didn't help my sex life any, but I became the first kid on the block with dishpan penis.
Dishpan penis. What the fuck?
That was the first.
You get rid of that, Jeffrey. You use
That's
Dawn
good.
or something.
That's good.
No, Dawn causes that. That was the first joke. That was the first really good joke that I wrote for myself. And that was the kind of humor I was doing. Innocent with a glare, you know, humor of a young man who knows there's more out there and hasn't quite experienced it yet, but would like to. Or I was doing news things. Saturday Night Live had really just started. In fact, they stole some jokes from me, quite frankly.
Really? How so? In what sense? Like the premises or?
I did a joke. Oh gosh, now I gotta remember. Claudine Lange, who was Andy Williams' wife, accidentally shot someone while skiing. Don't ask how that comes about. Just own that that's what happened.
I'm
Okay.
gonna take it.
And I did a joke about the second annual Claudine Lange skiing shoot off in Aspen, Colorado.
Ah, Geoffrey.
And that premise was on Saturday Night Live that Saturday night.
Oh, wow.
You know, Geoffrey, you know what's crazy, man? Is
you
That's not
remember
the first time we've heard that.
that's not the that is so true. That's not the first time that I've heard it. I've talked to comics who are up in New York. And again, I don't know if this is true. Maybe because the thing is, I look at it like this way. I'll play devil's advocate. There's a lot of premises, there's a lot of setups, there's a lot of punchlines that are similar, right? Like I have a lot of jokes about my life as a Hispanic dude. Eric has a lot of jokes about, as a middle-aged white dude in Missouri that served and all this stuff. But it's like
there were jokes about that.
There are now.
I mean, the foreskin jokes alone can keep you busy, but
God
middle-aged
damn it,
white guy
Geoffrey.
jokes, good heavens.
But like I feel like it's nowadays at least, because back in the day, you had to go to the club and look at who was going, with the internet. But it's like that's interesting. Like that's not the first time we've heard that.
The original Saturday Night Live, the first 5 seasons with Gilda Radner and all those folks.
Yeah.
They had people in all the clubs. They had, if you take away the commercials, the 90-minute show is about 55 minutes long. And they had to fill it live every week with just these people and a host who sometimes could be funny and sometimes wasn't. So they were just grasping at straws. They write maybe 3 times as many sketches as they actually need for the Saturday show. They rehearse it on Friday. They rehearse it on Saturday. That's all the rehearsal you get. The rest of the week is writing.
Yeah.
And the sketches work or they don't. Then they have a dress rehearsal Saturday evening with an audience that's taped just in case. Then there's the live show. Between the rehearsal and the live show, the sketches can all change. They were grasping at straws. It wasn't Lorne Michaels' well-oiled machine like it is today. They were just figuring it out. And I used to go to the rehearsals and see. I was in the audience many times at Saturday Night Live. They were dying for people back then, who in New York City wanted to go see a show at 11:30 at night. So you got in easily, and then I became a little known. It was easier to get in, but it's a wonderful show. But yeah, they stole. Comedians steal from each other all the time. But the joke I just told, my first big joke, who else could tell that but me? It wouldn't work out of anybody else's mouth. That's who star comedians are. They tell things, bless his heart. Norm Crosby was a dear friend, and all of his malaprops. Nobody else could do them but Norm.
Yeah.
Joan Rivers, brilliant, but catty humor. Kathy Griffin, bless her heart, does it. Kathy's a friend. But
Griffin's a friend of yours?
Yeah.
How's she doing?
Better than Judy Tenuta, unfortunately. They're both. Kathy is doing better. Her latest health reports are encouraging.
That's why I was asking. I didn't mean to throw that out there, but that's why I was asking.
And you Judy Tenuta fans, the goddess needs your prayers.
Yeah,
I spoke to Judy last week.
Okay. We had a Ruda Lee on here.
Oh, we've been buddies for 25 years.
Dude, Ruda, I'll have to send you that episode. Ruda, we're gonna have her back.
Yes, definitely.
We have someone at the cigar shop. The cigar shop I was telling you just for him, where we've done comedy shows.
Yeah.
That he's a huge fan of Ruda.
Oh yeah.
Like Geoffrey, huge. And Ruda shouted him out and asked if he was single.
Yeah.
Geoffrey, I ain't never seen this dude change color, but that dude looked like he was gonna have a fucking heart attack, bro. Like that
Ruda
dude
is an amazing. First of all, you should have Ruda and me on together sometime.
Really?
We feed each other.
Wow.
I hosted 4 years ago, the first international Palm Springs Comedy Festival here. And I did a panel in the morning to get it started of Ruta Lee, Joyce Bulifant, my darling Dawn Wells from Gilligan's Island, and Allison Arngrim from, Little House on the Prairie. And we were talking about women who did comedy scripts as opposed to doing stand-up, and how it changed through the years as it got more adult. And I told them that I've never said a naughty word on the stage. I've always worked squeaky, squeaky clean. And Ruta interrupted me and she says, "Oh, Geoffrey, for Christ's sakes, you're over 40. Get on the stage tonight and say fuck."
That sounds like something she would.
Yes.
I can
Sounds
totally,
exactly like something she would
I
say.
can just picture her in my head saying, "Fuck!" Like I could 100%.
Ruta Lee is also one of the most generous, thoughtful. The amount of money she has raised for charity is in the millions and millions and millions. If someone needs a kind word, if someone needs to be uplifted, Ruta is there. I'll tell you a Ruta Lee story quickly that nobody knows. This is the side the public does not get to see. There was at the Hollywood Museum, and I'm a member of the museum and promote it a lot because I love it. And there's stuff of mine in the museum. They were saluting Gilligan's Island, and Dawn was there. Dawn and I were very, very, very close friends. One of the closest friends I've ever had. But towards the end of her life, she was having some memory issues, cognitive issues. It was never diagnosed, but it was there. And I got to the museum a little bit early before the red carpet to see if she needed anything. And she needed to get her face fixed, makeup.
Yeah.
And she pulled out her compact. And in that moment, she forgot how to use one.
Oh,
and
don't tell me that, man.
Oh my goodness.
Ruta, "Oh, darling, don't worry about it. It's easy. I'll show you how to use it. Here, you open it up and you take out this thing and you rub it like this. And we can, and then Ruta did her face for her so gently that Dawn did not feel spoken down to or that she'd done something wrong. And they took Dawn out to talk to the reporters. And I said to Ruta, "I've always loved you. Now I love you double."
She is such
That's amazing.
She was so nice to us, man. Like, and the fact that she like offered, she was like, "Oh, I go to Mexico a lot." I was like, "If you ever need an interpreter," she like got my number and everything.
Yeah,
dude. For me to as an interpreter to interpret for Ruta Lee.
Oh, yeah.
No, I want to take you to Mexico.
Whoa, Geoffrey, I think you have other reasons you want to take me to Mexico.
Hey, interpretations are interpretations. Yeah, we need to get Ruta and me on here together. We'd be a really big, just an hour. It would just be humor.
Dude, I'd be dying laughing. I was dying.
yeah.
We were dying with her. She hit on Eric a little bit.
Yeah.
And I was just like, "Eric, listen, if you could just give Ruta Lee a kiss, like, would you?" He's like, 100%.
Yeah.
100%.
Ruta can have him. I'll have you. We'll have a party.
I'm okay with that.
Jeffrey, I gotta. Damn it, Jeffrey, you fucked me
Yes.
up. That fucking voice. Dude, you look good, man. You look
Thank
good. I'll throw you out on the bus, but you're celebrating a birthday here pretty soon.
On Monday, as we're taping this coming Monday, yes.
That's when the episode will actually come out.
On Monday.
Monday.
Then shh. Today's my birthday.
Happy birthday.
What are you gonna do?
Thank
to
you,
celebrate?
gentlemen. One friend is taking me out for brunch. Another friend is taking me out for dinner. I'm a foodie, if you can't tell. Another friend sent me 2 beautiful duck confits, frozen, to have with herbs from his garden and stuff. It's birthdays and celebrations like that get harder as you age. My kids are grown up and they do their own thing. My partner passed away. There's no intrinsic immediate family to celebrate these things with. See, you make your own celebrations, and you choose good friends who want to be around you. And next year is the big one. Next year I turn 65 next year. And it's also the 50th anniversary of my being in show business. So I think there's going to be something a little special next year.
Oh,
Dude, you
right.
should do a concert or something.
Definitely. Yeah.
I always
Oh,
feel like
oh,
the older I
yeah.
get for birthdays, I always feel like I'd rather do things for other people. That's just how I look at it. Like I stopped celebrating, like really caring after like I was like 23 or something. And I feel like I just want to do stuff with other people. Like go do a comedy show or
Mm.
that's how I've always felt. But that's good. That's good. You
Yeah,
look
from the bottom of my heart, doing things for other people on my birthday. Really, fuck that. It's my birthday and I want to celebrate.
It's not your birthday. It's my birthday. The hell.
She's everybody's birthday. For our I Love Lucy fans will know what I am talking about. No, I do. I'm not saying this to toot my horn. I'm saying it because everyone should do it. I do an awful lot of charity work every year. In November, I'm doing two. I'm doing a show with George Maharis. Sure, Jeff. George Shakirtis and I are doing a show. And I'm also doing in Los Angeles, I'll be singing and emceeing a thing for helping the military. So
a
I'll be
veteran
doing
show.
I'll be doing two shows in November for charity. Show business, the people in show business are probably the most giving people I've ever met. The ones who have their head on right do tons of charity work. Dawn did it. Ruda does it constantly. Ruda is married to doing charity work. So that's where I give back. But I like to take my birthday to celebrate me because it keeps my head on straight, to remind myself that I am worthy.
That's
That's
good.
good.
That's good. And the
I
fact
like
that
it.
you're giving back to the troops, man. It's been a weird time for the military too.
Yeah, in
Yeah.
fact, I've been invited to sing for the Pentagon, which will happen next year sometime.
Wow.
To sing at the Pentagon.
Yeah.
Ooh, Jeffrey,
That's-
that's interesting, brother.
Yeah. I guess they brought back
my great
Don't Ask, Don't
uncle,
Tell.
my great uncle was Colonel Harry Zubkov, who was the highest ranking Jewish person in the Air Force. Before he retired from the Air Force, he ran all the military hospitals for the Air Force worldwide. And there was a building in Miami named for him. So although I never served myself, I come from an Air Force family and I do whatever I can for the military.
You're smart.
Nice.
You're smart.
Nice.
You took the smart route. It's hard. It's very I wish there was a way. I don't think there's really a good way to describe like how lonely military life can be, especially if you're in a combat arms MRS or if you're in like a specialty like Eric was with avionics and stuff like that. With aviation, I'm sorry.
Yeah, we're just forward deployed all the time.
Yeah, like especially like the Air Force, man, like the Air Force, the Navy, everybody. Like there's always like something happening.
Yeah.
That's awesome that you're doing that, Jeffrey. Dude, anything we can do to help, like 100%, man.
Yeah.
Like I appreciate that, dude.
If I come out and perform near you and there is military people nearby, I'd be happy to do an extra show for them.
Bro, this is a military town.
Mhm.
It's
We'll make
literally
it happen.
retirees. Yeah, well, listen,
we'll make it happen.
We'll make it happen. We'll get something going. We got some venues. Jeffrey, I wanted to switching gears. I want to hear about your books. I want to hear about those books that you have. I know you have 3 books that are coming out.
It's easier to read them than to hear them. But
are you not gonna hold on?
Are you not doing audiobooks?
Are you not gonna do audiobooks?
I don't know yet. Let's get the physical books out first, and then we'll talk.
Okay, no. Absolutely, one thing at a time.
Okay, gotcha.
Yeah,
Gotcha.
I didn't know if you were against that or anything. That's why I was asking.
No. Well, I'm in the middle of 3 books. The new Lucy book, which if you see this picture up here is the cover of the old Lucy book.
Beautiful.
We are hoping that this will be the cover of the new Lucy book.
Oh, nice.
That was painted for me as a gift and by an incredibly talented artist. The original Lucy book was her television career, live TV till she died, everything, game shows, talk shows, variety shows, guest appearances, her shows, commercials. The new Lucy book is all of that with new interviews with Carol Burnett and Anne Margaret and Rich Little and folks like that, plus her films, and her radio shows. So it'll now be a compendium of her entire career with a new forward written by Fran Drescher.
Have you
Oh.
seen the movie that's out that talks about her relationship with Ricky? It's like
With Desi?
the what?
With Desi.
With this? Yes, I'm sorry. I'm so sorry. Yes. Have you
Yes.
seen that? Have you seen that one
Of
yet?
course.
What are your
There was
thoughts on
there
that?
was a film made and there was a documentary made.
I didn't know about the
and-
documentary. That's good to know.
Ron Howard's production house, Amy Poehler directing. They just won 2 Emmy Awards like a few days ago. The film that was done by the man who did West Wing, what he
Okay.
decided to do was, and I like his concept, and I'm not disappointed because I knew from the beginning what the concept was. So it wasn't like I was expecting one thing and got another. I was always expecting this.
Mhm.
Aaron Sorkin took 3 events of the Arnazes' lives, one from 1951, one from 1952, one from 1959, and made them all happen in the same week. We don't know quite what the year is. He's fuzzy about it.
Mhm.
If you wanted a docudrama that tells you exactly what it was like to put I Love Lucy together, you won't like this film. If you want a
Really?
film that shows you what the relationships were like on the set
Mhm.
between Miss Ball, Mr. Arnaz, Miss Vance, Mr. Frawley, the writers, the director, the producer,
Mhm.
they got that perfectly. That
Okay.
was his intention, to show you the relationships and to show you the stress the Arnazes were under while they were making this groundbreaking show. Amy Poehler's documentary tells you the truth about the married life of the Arnazes.
Oh, so
okay.
my question to you is, what would be a good chronological order to enjoy these fully? And I just want to give you this option because I myself will do this. Would it be better to watch the movies, either A or B first, or would it be better to read your book and then watch the movies? Like, what would you think would be the best
If you
order?
read my book first, you will hate Aaron Sorkin's film
Oh.
Really?
because it's that far away from what actually. Remember, the circumstances are fictionalized. The
Mhm.
relationships are real.
Okay.
If that
Okay.
makes sense to you.
Yeah. I got
I
that.
would say if you're a big Lucille Ball fan, see a few of her movies, sample some episodes of I Love Lucy, the Lucille Ball Desi Arnaz show, the Lucy
Mhm.
show, Here's Lucy in Life with Lucy.
Mhm.
Then look at Aaron Sorkin's docudrama and then read my book. And what you can do, which makes me so happy, people watch these things and they'll watch the films and listen to the radio shows now with my book open in front of them. And they pause, they go, oh, how cool what Jeff said here. And they let it go. That's the best way to use my book and to enjoy Lucille Ball.
Okay.
Okay.
Nice.
Okay.
All right.
That's that. Thank you for that. Because
Yeah.
that's probably what I'll do. I've seen the I Love Lucy show because my name's Ricardo and people always try to call me Ricky. And yeah,
He doesn't like
I
that.
do not like that. No, I do not like that.
I don't know that Mr. Arnaz particularly liked that. It's a character he played, and forgive the noise in the background. I can't control the computer noises. I can only control my phone being off.
You're
Um,
absolutely fine, brother.
Someone once asked Vivian Vance, in fact, it was Hugh Downs interviewing her on television, and Vivian came out and he said to her, "We know you so well. What would you have done if I'd introduced you as Ethel Mertz?" And Miss Vance said, "I wouldn't have come out.
Yeah.
I'm not Ethel Mertz. I am Vivian Vance.
Yeah.
That was a character I played." Now, having said that, the other thing she said about it, which I think applies to all the cast, she was on the Mike Douglas show once and said, Anywhere I go, I'm treated beautifully. She said, you know why? I'm everybody's best friend. All the people
Yeah.
who have watched that show all through the years wished they had a loyal friend like Ethel Mertz who would
Yeah.
show up no matter what and stick by no matter what. She said, I'm America's best friend. And the audience like gave her a standing ovation. So it's a double-edged sword when you're very, very, very identified with being one character. It gives you entree to all these homes where you're being welcomed. On the other hand, who you are as a person can get lost.
Yeah. I'm sure Yoda
I'm,
feels the same way.
I'm lucky. I'm lucky in that I'm known more as Geoffrey Mark than for any character I've played.
Yeah.
So I get to be at least this version of me most of the time.
That seems to
Mhm.
happen a lot with with celebrities. Like you look at and you'll probably know these like people who play like superheroes.
Oh yeah.
Like Stephen Amell, for example. Stephen Amell was Green Arrow, the fictional character from DC Universe Green Arrow for 9 years.
Yeah.
And everybody was like, you're gonna get cast type, you're gonna get cast type. But dude, like he's doing movies where, you know, he's still like the fit guy and whatnot. But it's
Yeah.
like, is why do I always hear like, and I want your opinion on this, like, why is it that I hear two sides of the coin when it comes to that? Like, oh, you don't want to get cast typed, or oh well, you know, it's okay to get cast typed because it can open
Before you
opportunities
get
for
1,000 letters, it's typecast, not cast type.
typecast.
Oh.
Okay, typecast. Thank you.
He has problem with words.
No, just he wasn't hearing
ESL.
to what he was saying. It's okay.
Okay.
ESL.
We do that all the time. People do that. It's a double-edged sword for people like my friend Marsha Wallace, who played the secretary on the Bob Newhart show.
Great
Oh,
example.
Okay.
She loved getting typecast because before that she was a day player on sitcoms. She had these little parts playing on the Brady Bunch. She was the woman who sold Jan the black wig, kind of thing.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
Okay, you'd hardly know she was there. Being on the Newhart show got her to be on all those game shows she was on, and it got her on The Simpsons. She won an Emmy Award for that. So she
Mhm.
was happy for that. For other people, it kind of narrows who will hire you next. The biggest example, you already mentioned Superman. The biggest example was George Reeves. Once he did The Adventures of Superman in the 50s, producers and directors were not wanting to hire him for anything else because as soon as he walked out, people thought, Superman.
Yeah.
By the way, did you see me with Superman the other night? Did you see the picture of me with him?
I have not. We've been.
Oh, I was
I'm gonna be
walking the
real
streets
honest.
in Los Angeles and Superman walked me to my car to keep me safe.
Wow.
Look at my post. You'll see me with Superman.
Superman
we
walked to your
we
car. I
definitely
love
need to
it.
check that out.
What?
Okay.
You haven't met Superman? Oh, I'm sorry.
I have not. I have not, good sir. I live in Springfield, Missouri.
He flies.
He f-
Yeah, we're a
Um,
flyover part of the country.
Jeffrey.
So there are people who resent the typecasting.
Mhm.
There are people, Eve Arden, if you remember who she was. Eve Arden got typecast very early as the good-looking sidekick who had really funny, sometimes bitchy things to say. She didn't mind because it kept her working. It kept her a steady income. She starred on 3 sitcoms playing that kind of character, and dozens and dozens and dozens of wonderful, like Mildred Pierce, wonderful films.
Yeah.
She didn't mind. She got to stretch her acting muscles doing stage work, touring with Hello
Okay.
Dolly, touring with
Yeah.
Auntie Mame. So there's always possibilities. Dawn Wells got typecast as Marianne on Gilligan's Island.
Yeah.
She
Yes,
didn't want to
that's
spend
true.
her life talking about Gilligan's Island, but she loved the notoriety it gave her. Dawn made most of her money from starring on stage shows, touring the United States and Canada, playing all kinds of parts. In fact, she and Marsha Wallace toured with the female version of The Odd Couple and did it very successfully.
Oh, I
So
did not know
just-
that.
It
Wow.
depends on your point of view. My friend Kathy Garber is still identifying herself with playing Sissy on Family Affair. She loves it. So it just depends on who the
Okay.
actor is. If you're looking to be the biggest star in the world, perhaps typecasting won't work, but it worked for Lucille Ball. And she became the biggest star in the world. In the 1950s, there was no bigger star on this planet than Lucille Ball. So it worked for her. So I don't think, I guess my bottom line is there's no cut and dried answer to that. It depends on the person and what their aspirations are.
Okay.
That's it. Thank you for that, because I've always wondered, like we interview like a lot of celebrities and stuff like that, and I was like, I'm always like kind of scared to ask that because I don't want them to like, I don't want them to feel uncomfortable and stuff
Don't
like
be
that.
afraid. Don't be afraid. Look, I am typecast as the guy who wears all the sequins and jewelry and stuff. Yay. And yet, 6 months ago, I starred as Jack Benny on a radio show, playing him. A brand new Jack Benny show was written, and I was cast as Jack, despite
Where
the
can we hear
sparkles.
that? Where can we hear that, Jeffrey?
Look up Geoffrey Mark and Jack Benny. It's on the internet, I promise.
I got it.
Okay.
And then I got invited to speak at the Jack Benny International Festival in London. And was
Nice.
and his daughter was listening and interacting with me. So one thing leads to another. Am I going to be a great big movie star? No, I'm not. Am I going to have my own television variety show like I wanted when I was young? They don't have them anymore.
Yeah.
But
yeah,
look what I've accomplished. Look what I've gotten to do these last 49 years.
Mhm.
And I'm still young enough to go for another 20.
it's interesting you say that, because it almost seems like you're not like judged based upon what you do if you enjoy it and if you just like roll with it. Like if that's who you are as a person, like, yeah, hooray, there you go. But some
I'm
people just,
sure
like,
there are folks out there who judge me for
Well, fuck 'em.
various reasons. Hey, I'm Jewish. There are anti-Semites. I'm gay. There are homophobes. There are people who don't trust redheads. That one South Park thing about gingers has
Oh my
ruined
God.
redheads
Jeffrey.
for everybody.
you said this last time.
Yeah.
You wouldn't
know,
want to be in South Park?
if they asked me, I'd be on.
Okay.
I wouldn't
notice it.
not go on because of that one episode.
Yeah.
I don't have a six-pack stomach. There are people who don't like people who carry extra weight. And there are people who don't like this, and there are people who don't like that. And one of the, we talked, I think last time, that I'm 33 years clean and sober. One of the amazing things of recovery from that kind of an addiction is to learn that what other people think of me is none of my fucking business.
Yep.
Don't
That's what I
care.
was gonna.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what I was gonna say. Is like it's not. My dad has this saying that, and it's funny because Eric says this too. He reminds me of it. It's like, you're not a slice of cheesecake. You're not an Oreo. It's like you're not everybody's slice of cake. So you just gotta let it be, and it's not your motherfucking problem. Like,
Yeah.
The only time I care about other people's opinions, if I've hurt someone by deed or by word inadvertently, I'd like to know to make it better.
Mhm.
I don't purposely hurt people's feelings.
Yeah.
Yeah. I get that.
But you don't like what I'm wearing. You don't like that I'm a redhead. You don't like that I wear sparkles. You don't like that I was with a man for 47 years. Oh gosh, too bad. Thank you for playing our game. Here's your Lee press-on nails. Go away.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that says more about them. Sometimes that says more about them than it says about you, I feel
It
like.
only says something about them. It says nothing about me. It only says where their hearts are.
Yep.
Okay, so
I agree with
books.
that.
We'll get back to the books. So
Yeah,
there's
the
two more
books.
books
Yeah.
besides that. I'm
Okay.
writing a book with Wink Martindale and his beautiful wife Sandra, because Sandra, before she married Wink, in this order, had romances with Elvis Presley and Wayne Newton.
Wait,
Ooh.
what? Like, is that like legit?
Oh yeah. So
Is it like
the
an
three
affair
men in
sort
her
of?
life have been Elvis, Wayne Newton, and Wink Martindale. So we're
Bro.
working on that book. And then the third book, which I'm finishing this weekend, maybe tonight, is my autobiography, my memoirs, called The Devil Was Born in Brooklyn, which is copyrighted. You can't have it. I don't mean you guys. I mean all you folks out there. You're gonna rush.
No.
No. Copyrighted. I will sue your asses off.
Yeah, he won't even send you a cease and desist. He's gonna give you a.
Oh no.
Yeah.
Yep.
I'll get Brooklyn on your ass about that. You won't even see it coming. Which is, to the best of my ability, the true story of my very unfortunate childhood, how I got into show business at 15, how I fell in love at 13, our 47-year love affair that was very unusual and rocky, my years as a drug addict and an alcoholic, getting clean and sober, and then this incredible career God has given me that I've every day I'm so grateful for, and the wonderful, fabulous, talented people I've known, like, gentlemen,
Lucy, Ella Fitzgerald.
no, the
and
one you wanted me to talk about on the show today.
Oh, Freddie Mercury.
Thank you.
Freddie
Like
Mercury.
Freddie Mercury.
You forgot the name, didn't you?
I know. No, I just didn't. I wasn't gonna bring it up because, like I said in the beginning, I wasn't gonna bring it up.
I have had the fortune of having some intimate moments with some very famous people. In the book, I will talk.
I think famous. Hold on, Geoffrey. Famous doesn't even cover it. Like you're like you got to admit that's huge that you met these people like that at the time. You probably
Who
didn't
told
even
you it
know
was huge?
Jeffrey, tell me the size.
I thought that was.
Hold on. I got
You did.
it on video. Jeffrey, tell me the size. The Yeti mic or the pen?
Neither is large enough.
Jesus fuck. Jesus.
All right, but I'll be serious for a moment. No, I was telling you the truth.
Yeah.
I wasn't just getting a laugh. The boy was blessed between his legs. But here's what I took away from it: not how he looked naked. If you're a Freddie Mercury fan, he was as good looking as you hoped he would be. He was as well blessed as you could imagine him to be. But what was the hallmark of the experience, the takeaway, was how nice he was. We met during the drug-soaked years of the late 70s in New York. We met when he came to New York to publicize Bohemian Rhapsody. It had just come out in this country. It had been out in England for a while. It had just come out here. And we met at a very fancy place and spent an evening together. And when all was said and done, whatever we did was finished. Did I have a good time? Was I okay? Did I need anything from him? Did I have enough money to get home safely? Did I live nearby? Was I living in Brooklyn? How are you? He cared. He turned an evening of wildness into something human. And that's what I remember most about it.
That's beautiful because you guys.
The rest of it was just sex, and I've had sex before and I've had sex since. But in my book, and I won't tell you who they are, I talk about another couple of very famous people that I had
relations,
either a casual affair with or one person for quite a while, actually. There are other people I was with I won't talk about because they're either still alive and they're married, or they have ex-wives and children who will get hurt. I don't need to hurt people to get a book published. So anyone I talk about, either their families already know, or there is no family to hurt, like Freddie. So
that's very kind of you, though. That's really kind of you, because someone like that's it, man. That says, it speaks volumes of you, because you could like do that and like probably, you know what I'm saying?
I could sell more books. I'd have more stories to tell. When you read my book, there's enough celebrity stuff that you've never heard about in it.
Mm.
That, Phyllis Diller and Jack Riley taking me out for my birthday. Speaking of birthdays,
Oh,
that you won't miss anything by my not yanking a couple of supposedly straight men out of the closet. That seems to be something about my life. I seem to attract very curious straight men who, for whatever reason, feel comfortable with me. And again, I talk about the concept. My Joel, my partner for 47 years, was bisexual. We've talked about that we never lived together, but we were still a couple.
Yeah.
It's just part of who I am. So it's all of that. So there's the George Shakirtises in my book, and there's all of this stuff. It's over 600 pages long as a manuscript. So there'll be plenty to read, and I think you will enjoy it. So those are the 3 books coming out next year. Geoffrey Mark Sings the Ella Fitzgerald Songbook was supposed to come out this year, but my producer got ill. So we're going to wait a little while till he gets better. And my radio show goes on. I'm going to be doing a singing tour next year. We were talking off mic, off camera before we started with this, that I hope to come to their town. They're going to cook for me, and I'm going to do a concert and maybe perform for the military while we're there.
Nice.
You know what it is about you, Geoffrey? And
What's that?
we talked about this, is you have such a compassionate and caring voice. And like, there's something about you that it's like very like, fuck it. Let's just be kind to each other. Like, I don't have to fuck you over and whatnot. That I think like that's what we love about you, is like, you'll come in here and you'll tell jokes about you'll not jokes, let me rephrase that. You'll tell stories about Freddie in a very tasteful fashion that we all enjoy. You tell your stories about Lucy in a very kind and like a very beautiful way. And there's never a moment that, and you and I have talked online a lot. There's never a moment where you're disrespectful or you cross a line. And I think that's honestly the most beautiful thing about you, is that you're so kind and generous that you even take the time to give me some advice about some of the stuff that we've been working on and stuff, like, behind the scenes. And I think that's part of it, man. Like, it's such a good vibe.
But I'm sure some of it is how I'm hardwired. Some of it comes from my maternal grandparents, who were the 2 most loving, wonderful people I've ever known. They did charity work. They taught me to be respectful. They taught me to, for instance, my grandmother's first cousin was Sid Bernstein. Who was Sid Bernstein? Sid Bernstein is the guy who brought the Beatles to America and produced their first concerts in this country.
Wow.
Now, we could have asked for tickets. We could have spent evenings as he came to my grandparents' house for dinner talking about it. My grandmother said, no, do not bring the Beatles up. This man, this is his work. He's coming here to be with family. He doesn't need us to ask for stuff.
Yeah.
Be respectful. When I talk about Miss Ball, Mr. Arnaz, I don't say she's Lucy. Lucy's a character. I only met Miss Ball once to interview her. Happily so. I never got to meet Mr. Arnaz. To call them Desi, to call them... I did a radio show, a couple of months ago now, I guess, on ABC. Danelle Dadigan was the host, who also owns the Hollywood Museum. And she had the president of the Lucy fan club. She had Michael Stern, Lucille Ball's official #1 fan, Ruta Lee, and me. And Ruta said, you keep calling them Mr. and Miss. I said, well, you guys all knew them personally. You were friends of theirs. I'm friends with their children. But Ruta said, oh, you're showing respect. How wonderful. I was taught respect. I help other people. Milton Berle helped me. Jack Carter helped me. Steve Allen helped me. Lucy Arnaz has helped me. Desi Arnaz Jr. has helped me. And Shelley Berman has helped me. Peter Marshall has helped me. Why wouldn't I? None of those people need my help back. why wouldn't I then turn to two nice people who have been kind to me,
Mhm.
and all the joking about how good looking you both are aside, and try to help you? I mean, you are both real good looking, but that's not why I help you. I help you because I'm passing it forward. My
The other-
kids don't give a
Well,
crap about any of this, so I pass it to people who do care.
Thank you, man. We appreciate
Yes,
that.
I do really do.
The
Really
other
do.
thing about you is that you understand suffering. You understand it. You've lived it. You've experienced it, you know. And I think that there's something I always tell this about I always tell this analogy, like a good writer understands that there's no difference between the good and the bad guy except one difference. The bad guy says the world hurt me, so I'm going to hurt the fucking world back so they know what it feels like. And the good guy says the world hurt me, so I'm going to help those who are hurting, so they know that there's someone out there that'll help them. And that's you. That's you to the T. It's like you're out helping people and whatnot. And it's great work what you do, man. It's beautiful work what you do. And
Thank you.
it's,
Thank you.
we greatly appreciate it. You
Yeah.
know, it's always been
Well,
nice.
it's a choice. Happiness is a choice. Happiness doesn't just come raining down at you. You
Yeah.
choose to be happy. You choose to be grateful. I've known too many wonderful people who are very dissatisfied with their lot in life. I'll mention two because in the show business, this is not news. Jack Carter and Shelley Berman, Kay Ballard. Why wasn't I a bigger star? Why wasn't I as big as Bob Hope? Why wasn't I as big as Lucille Ball? And I have had to turn to all of them and say, you're worldwide known. You are stars.
Mhm.
You've been on television. You've been in movies. You've been on Broadway as a star. Maybe if you were more grateful, more things would happen for you. But if
Mm.
you live in the world owes me, or why didn't I get, or why
Yeah.
was I born? Why wasn't I born 6'2" with cheekbones and a 9-inch penis? Because I wasn't. Whoever this is. If you're talking about me personally, but I was born with an IQ of 163, which is
Mhm.
genius level. I was born with talent. I was born with love. I was born with a curiosity about the world. I was born with the idea that I need to give to others. And I've had this incredible career. I'm drinking out of a mug Jack Riley from the Bob Newhart show gave me. Sundays I drink from a
Can I see that? Can you show that again, please?
Sure.
Oh, wow.
That's really abstract. That's dope.
See if you can figure out who the artist was who did this.
You got me there, man. My art knowledge is more Japanese and Korean
Anime.
artists and anime.
Picasso.
Picasso.
What?
This is a Picasso cup. On Sundays, I have a beautiful China coffee cup and saucer that was belonged to Rose Marie. She and I were dear friends. When she passed away, her daughter gave it to me. It was the cup and saucer she used to feed me when I came to her house. So
Oh,
Sundays, I
wow.
have coffee with Rosie. Saturdays, I have
beautiful.
coffee with Jack.
That's
Nice.
beautiful, man.
That's very nice. Yeah.
That is so. Isn't it kind of awesome though? Like those people, like the love gets passed on generationally. Like
Grateful is too small of a word. That all these people I've mentioned were close friends of mine.
Mhm.
That happened for me. That I not only admired all these people greatly, but that I got to know them. I got to sit in Jack Carter's Beverly Hills mansion in his kitchen, having Chinese food with his family and with Norm Crosby and his family. I
Oh,
got
wow.
to spend Passover with Sid Caesar and his wife and Lainie Kazan. It's not, I don't collect people's names to drop them. I've been fortunate enough, whether these people appreciate my appreciation for them or they appreciate my talent, God bless them, or my ambition, because you're going to have all the talent in the world. If you haven't got ambition, you get nowhere. I'm a very ambitious man. And I don't make any, I don't apologize for it. Without ambition, every year, 10,000 people come to Los Angeles to become stars.
Yeah.
9,950 of them will never work.
Yeah.
I became a star. A big star? No, a little star. But I became a celebrity. I became what I've become. My Emmy sitting behind me over here. I have a Grammy nomination. I'm the luckiest son of a bitch in the world. I met my true love soulmate when I was 13, my first day in high school. 2 days later, in the same class, I met my best friend in the world. Just a few days ago would have been Joel's and my 50th anniversary. 2 days later, her name is Phyllis Limpert Viana. She lives in Aruba. Hi, Phyllis. Our 50th
Aruba,
anniversary.
nice.
Well, her husband is Aruban. He's a Chinese medical doctor down there.
Yeah.
I'm the godfather to her sons. In fact, I picked him out for her. No, hey, every single person I have put together have gotten married and stayed married. I am a wonderful matchmaker.
Bro, how is
Wow.
that not a TV series for you, man? Like, how is that not something that you're trying to do? That'd be. I
Never
watched.
occurred to me because I don't do it professionally. I don't do it for money, and I can't do it all the time. But when I see two souls, see, it's not about looks. It's not about are they going to have a smoking sex life. When I see two souls who have an opportunity to live happily together, I put them together, and they've all gotten married, and they're all still married.
That still sounds better than 90 Day Fiance.
Oh my God. Oh my God. Geoffrey, you've been amazing, and I appreciate you
Yes.
coming in here. Could you plug in your shows and your upcoming stuff so we can
Then you have a
let
tour next
everybody?
year. We got a tour next
Yes.
year.
Yeah, you got the
A
tour,
tour next
possibly
year,
coming to
cities-
Springfield.
As far as I know so far, it's going to be Charlotte, North Carolina, Washington, D.C., Columbia, Maryland, possibly Philadelphia, New York. I'm going to try to come to you guys. I'm wanted in Chicago and Toronto. Don't know if I can make that happen yet. LA, and of course, Palm Springs. Geoffrey Mark Sings the Ella Fitzgerald Songbook will be out next year. My radio show continues. The 3 books we've talked about continues. I have a group on Facebook called Geoffrey Mark Plays Ella. If you ever want to like ask for songs, or you think of a good theme for us to use, or just want to comment to us, happy to hear from you. I'm on Instagram, Geoffrey Mark Showbiz. I'm on Twitter at Geoffrey Mark. I'll come out of your electric toothbrush if you allow me.
Jesus,
Don't shake your head at me because you took that the wrong way.
Jesus.
I meant my
He
voice.
has electric toothbrushes. What's so funny?
No, I don't.
You do too.
Jeffrey, I appreciate you doing this, and as always, man, it's always lovely having you. And
Yes, it is.
to anybody
Well,
listening,
we've got a few more minutes. Yeah, we don't have to go away.
oh, we do. No, we're not going away. We're just plugging in. We normally at this time plug in the Patreon because we just got the Patreon.
Yeah.
We
So
finally
we
got video going. Yes.
Yay.
We have to let everybody
Yes.
in Barbados and Ireland know about it. So we have 2 people in Ireland. We're hoping that will grow. And
Barbados, we're up to 980 something followers.
Yeah.
Which
Beautiful place, Barbados.
is it really?
Oh, gorgeous.
yeah,
I have not been, and I
Been
lived
there
in-
several times.
Been there several times.
I've been to every island in the Caribbean. Oh gosh, 6 or 7 times over, except for Cuba. I've never been to good old Cuba. I would love to go there.
I only been
I have
to
an
World
interpreter
opens
who
up.
went.
Yeah, I went to Cuba once.
You went to Cuba once on port, or like to
Oh.
stop for port or port call, or
There is no port call in there. No, we flew in.
oh, you flew in.
There
Okay.
are port calls now.
Do they have port?
There are ships that go there now.
Well,
Okay,
Eric,
there
love
wasn't-
I would love to go back to Puerto Rico, not in hurricane season, and to Cuba. I would love. I've
Yeah.
always had. I don't know why. Maybe it's because of Mr. Arnez, an affinity for Latinos, but especially Cubanos, Puerto Ricanos, and Mexicanos. Those
So-
3 specifically, I seem to have really simpatico. I was
is it
born there.
Caribbean? Is it Caribbean? Is what it is? It's the hips. I guarantee you, it's the
It's
hips.
a-
Ah,
it is.
Yeah, it's the hips. We'll
It's
go
the
with that
hips.
one. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. It's the.
Yeah, that's the one we're gonna go with, the hips.
It's definitely the hip area.
It's dude. Listen, this is why I say that his Caribbean people, we could never be terrorists. We could never be terrorists, Jeffrey. Think about that. What do Caribbean people do? Dominicans, Cubans, Puerto Ricans, all we people. All we do is sleep, work, cook, dance, and fuck. Could you imagine?
And drink.
And what? Well, Jeffrey. That
That goes without
that
saying.
you know that goes with eating, Jeffrey.
Yeah,
if
you can't.
if
eat
I'm eating and I
and
don't have a
get
drink, like
that's just.
what am I gonna wash
know,
it down?
Did you guys know that one of Desi Arnaz's grandfathers is one of the founders of the Bacardi Rum Company?
Wait, what?
Really? I did not know that.
No,
On
I
his
didn't know
mother's-
that.
On his mother's side of the family, his grandfather was when they started the company, he was the distributor, and Bacardi was originally on the island of Cuba. It moved to Puerto Rico when political stuff started happening.
Yeah,
But no,
I knew
no,
that, but I didn't know he was part of that. That I did
Absolutely.
not know.
Because I've been down to the factory down in San Juan.
Yeah,
In
me
San
too.
Juan.
Yeah, I've been to the factory.
Well, there used to be a factory in Arecibo.
Oh, was there?
There used to be a factory, if I'm not mistaken, there used to be a factory in Arecibo, huge plant, because I used to drive by to get to my mom's job. Yeah, en la número 2 in Arecibo, on the left side if you're coming east to west, and then they just let it go, and it was right on the beach.
Wow.
Like the factory was, I think it was Bacardi. It was right on the beach, and then they moved to San Juan.
Yeah.
For a bigger location or one because they
They
got
moved, they moved to Old San Juan.
Old San Juan. Yes.
Yeah, Old San Juan.
So I am right. It was Bacardi.
Yeah.
We're
Yeah,
actually
Blackbeard's Castle, or I don't know if it's still
It's right
there.
near where they have all the pigeons.
so
There's definitely a
it
lot of
is there.
pigeons
No,
there,
No,
yeah.
no, you're right. You're right. We'll do this later, but I'm pretty
Okay.
sure we've been on a trip with Don Q. I don't know if you've ever had Don Q rum.
I don't think I missed much of my drinking days. So yes.
I fucking forgot.
He hasn't had a drink for like 30 years, I think, isn't it?
Oh fuck, I forgot. Oh fuck. Oh my god, kill me now. Oh god, just end it now.
I not only drank Don Q, I probably dated him.
Oh fuck. Oh my god, Jeffrey, I'm
Way
so
to go,
sorry.
Richard. Way to go, Richard.
Oh
I
god,
tell you
just
what.
kill me now.
No, I'm not. Look, I don't like being around people who are drunk these days. I
Mm,
don't go to bars and hang out.
mhm.
But if I'm having dinner with friends, they want to order a bottle of wine, as long as they're not pushing me to drink with them, I don't care. Look,
Yeah, yeah.
for a solid 10 years, at least, probably a little longer, I was an out of control alcoholic and drug addict. Marijuana, cocaine, pills. That's the truth of the matter. I got clean and sober right after I turned 30, and it's a different life now. And drugs and alcohol killed my career. I was becoming famous early on. I was in 3 or 4 off-Broadway shows. I was touring in summer stock. I was getting somewhere. It killed my ambition. See, that's the first thing it kills, your ambition.
Yeah.
And then it just kept killing me. Happily, luckily, when my head cleared, show business took me back.
We're having a little difficulty seeing you there, Jeffrey. I think the camera just froze a little bit.
You're fine
We can-
on my end.
We can
Okay.
still hear you.
We
though.
can still hear you. Go ahead, but we want to.
You know what I look like, and you're better looking than I am. They can look at you and enjoy.
fucking love it.
They can enjoy your dimples and listen to my voice.
Oh fuck.
Now they can pretend that I am 6 feet tall and have a 9-inch penis because
See,
I think they see. So it works out best for everybody that way.
there you go.
Jeffrey, I
I love
Thank
making
you
you
so much.
blush.
thank you so much for doing this, man. I greatly appreciate it.
Yes, definitely.
You're always an amazing guest, and
I will
you're an
come
amazing
on
person.
anytime you need me if I have the time.
Thank
You
you.
happened to catch
Great.
me on. We didn't. Folks who are listening. We didn't plan this week's out. This was a very of the moment kind of thing from yesterday, and happy to do it. Happy to do it.
Well, Jeffrey,
And we appreciate it too.
I greatly appreciate you. Stick around for a little bit, but we're gonna go ahead and end it here. And to everybody listening, visit Geoffrey Mark's website. Visit him on Twitter. Send him messages. Send him a ton of love. If you're brown and you got some Caribbean in you, Jeffrey would like to have some of you too. If you're listening, remember we have our Patreon at patreon.com/Rico podcast for $7 a month. That way we can get some groceries.
Yes.
Yeah,
And
we desperately need them.
please keep my buddy Judy Tenuta in your prayers.
Yes.
Yes,
Definitely.
by all means.
Yes.
Please do that. Ladies and gentlemen, Geoffrey
Geoffrey
Mark. Thank you
Marks.
so much, Geoffrey.
Mwah.